80 was it. Let's go. Oh, this arrangement? Okay. No 960. What's this? The Polish. Is this also called the Orangutan? Can I get a quick check on that one? Openings check. Is this also known as just the Orangutan? Boom. E4. It's not as committal as G4. Isn't G4 a move? What do you call that? Grob? Is it the Grob? That's something I haven't played. You're just one move away from getting fool's mated if you play G4 to start. Beware. What about A4? A4. No, I'm sorry. A3. What about B5? If I do B5 and A6, then A4, chop, 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 and then is this pawn overextended? Play this. Yeah, I don't want to overextend that pawn. Okay, well, what do you do now? I think this is a good start right here. And I'm in a spot, I think actually one of the earlier live Blitz chess commentary videos I posted to my YouTube channel was with this opening, actually, the Polish. And I think I have just as much information about this opening now as I did then, because I think all I referenced was that B4, bishop B2, and that's about it. That's about all I know. So knight F3. I guess there's knight F3 or F4 knight F3, but I don't really see a need to get that F pawn involved first. What else? C4. I think I like C4 here. Having a bishop pawn challenge a central pawn. Okay. Okay, well, what about D4? I think this is right. How many viewers would be considering this not a good idea? Because I'm obstructing this bishop, but what I'm looking to do is create, on the other hand, an extension point for my king knight. So I'm looking to take up residence on this E5 square, and in the event it's captured, I'm able to recapture and have that pawn defended. As a follow-up, bishop D3, rook C1, queen C2, pointing at this king side, I think could be pretty good. Now, I think C5 is the move here, so I'm going to go with it. And with this change of the structure, some things that I'm thinking about now are pinpointing that pawn, maybe, or what else? Or maybe looking to do what? Maybe get in E4 at some point after I get some pieces pointing at the king, queen C2, bishop D3, but now how to recapture? I think this is the correct direction. By rule, a rule of thumb that I've run with is to capture towards the center unless I have a good reason not to. And in this case, I have a good reason to capture away from the center because I want my bishop to c. Now, another important point, because we could have the change of the structure. If I play queen c2 or bishop d3, and I might have to contend with e5, and then if I strike with e4, then there might be d4. My bishop becomes an idiot. I don't know if I want to do that to my bishop. So I better take into account, in other words, the possibility for these central pushes for black. So I wonder if pushing here is a right idea. Or here's a different idea. This move is saying, you know what? Go ahead, you get your center. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is plant my knight on a5. And from a5, I keep under close observation the weakest pawn in this current structure for black. A knight on a5. What is this really doing? It's putting pressure on this pawn, but what more can you say about it? You can say that it is constraining the queen in some way, and that is a position you don't want to be in for any amount of time, really. As soon as you're in that type of setup, then you're getting ready to be deflected. Let's take this bishop, and I'm going to play here right now. I know I could get my knight to a5. There's no rush with that. I'm taking into account what else black could maybe be running with. I'm still looking at this, and I think I want to be in a spot to play e4. Even though it would give up my bishop, I want to make this central structure that black could be running with. I want to be able to make it flinch in some way. For a second, I was thinking that I would need to castle and connect my rooks here, but I don't want to do that just yet. However, if I castle, yeah, there's knight here. Let me do this first. I think a5 is a good moment here. a5 is a good thing to be running with. My rook is defended with my knight. And there you have it. That's a good move. Okay. Or is it? We're going to see about that. So 38 seconds. I need to do less talk and more play here. My knight wants to play to a5, but it can't do that just yet. Stopping knight g4 stuff. Pig on the 7th. Knight here is a follow-up, or maybe even knight here. I'm going to go with this instead. Maybe this. Maybe queen here. I like stopping the queen from coming out in this direction. And I wonder if it's a good idea to play f4 and preserve my knight's position. I could be playing b5 and then here. Let's get my queen out. This knight can't go too far away. If pawn push, if I do this, I end up in a fork, so I think I need to play back here. Maybe come to g3. I want to keep some minor piece around here to defend my king side, because at any moment it could be about the bishop, knight, and also the queen that could be attacking my king. So I'm actually in anticipation of this advance. I want to just reroute my knight right away. Bishop here I actually thought about for a second, but that's dropping my rook. This knight can't go too far because of the pressure I have on the bishop. Maybe the bishop does best to go back. And I think knight to this square is a good idea, so that if this move is played, I could be occupying f5 with my knight or my bishop. The knight probably the one that wants to play here, because once here it gets to d6, and that could be quite good. Now this is a nasty pin, and I don't know how black gets out of it. This knight is constrained, and I think that this is the tactic of deflection that we're seeing right now. Rook here I think is best. If knight takes, I grab the bishop, and that's actually mate because I'm controlling this flight square. So now I take this and then do what next? I'm going to play here trying to be sneaky with pawn push, pawn push. I'm opposite the king. And now I have sneaky stuff, pawn push. Actually now I have the queen. So it was a tight spot that black ended up finding themselves in. Right there. And I could do this because there's no... Well, let's do this instead. There's no moves for the rook. Or the bishop. The king is running for the hills. Another queen is on the scene. Don't allow stalemate. Whatever you do, do not allow stalemate. Okay. Went down to just seconds as usual. Okay. Let me go back here and see how either one of us could have improved. Let's see. Where's the improvement? The Polish opening. Well, what do you do here? I wonder if you should be trying a5 here. Instead of that, like, see what I do in response to a5. If I play b5, maybe you could target this pawn in some way. Here's another thing that's interesting. I think there's this c6 move. I think in response to b4, I think c6 is a good move with actually an early queen placement to b6, and it becomes very difficult to have a convenient response to queen takes pawn. So be aware of this idea, c6, queen b6, and I just know that it could be very awkward for white to be defending that threat. So just some food for thought on a different variation, a different way to approach this atypical b4 start for white. What else? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like you should try and take advantage of this, because otherwise it's turning out into a position where I have a lot of queenside space. So I wonder if this is actually my best suggestion is to actually run with that c6, queen b6 line, or try and throw in that a5 advance. Yeah, like maybe here instead of d5, maybe you can consider a5 striking at this point some way. Try and show maybe that this is overextended. a5 or the earliest point, c6, queen b6 stuff. Because once we get to this, I think things are pretty good for white. With that knight coming into a5 or d4 to put pressure on c6, I think that could turn out to be very uncomfortable. And I was on the defensive for just a little bit. a5 was a good move because otherwise this is a liability. You're getting rid of your isolated pawn and helping out your rook. But I do gain activity in this direction. How about right here, actually? Instead of trading rooks, maybe you can consider just a bishop here right now and connect your own rooks and not give up control of the a file. That's another thing to look into. Now, now you're on the defensive, and it's very easy to go wrong when you're on the defensive. Okay.